The ocean has a rule, not written, not spoken, but every sailor feels it. When something goes wrong out there, it usually ends one way. Ships sink. They break apart. They disappear beneath the surface. They leave debris, wreckage, something behind. But sometimes, the ocean does something worse. It leaves the ship and takes everyone on it. There's a moment sailors talk about, a line you don't want to cross. The moment a vessel stops being a ship and becomes a mystery. Some call it the Ghost Protocol, and no case proves it better than the MV Joyita. In 1955, it was found drifting in the South Pacific. Not destroyed, not underwater, floating. Engines still running, lights still working, structure still intact. A ship that was never supposed to sink. And yet, there wasn't a single person on board. Not one. So what makes 25 people abandon a ship that's still floating? That's where this story begins. October 3rd, 1955. The Joyita leaves Samoa. A routine trip. Short. Simple. 48 hours to the Tokelau Islands. On board are 25 people. Crew. Passengers. People expecting to arrive. People expecting to live. The cargo isn't random. Medical supplies. Timber. Essential goods. The kind of shipment people are waiting for. The kind you don't walk away from. But the Joyita wasn't just another cargo vessel. It was built differently. Reinforced. Cork-lined hull. Extra buoyancy designed into the structure itself. Even if water flooded the ship, it wouldn't sink. It would stay afloat. Damaged, maybe. Tilting, maybe. But still alive. A floating lifeboat. That's what it really was. So when it didn't arrive, people knew something was wrong. Fast. Search planes were launched. Crews scanned over 100,000 square miles of open ocean. Endless blue in every direction. No wreckage. No distress signals. No lifeboats. No oil slick. Nothing. It was like the Joyita had simply vanished. Like it had been erased. Days turned into weeks. And the search faded. Because in the ocean, when something disappears that completely, there's usually only one explanation. It's gone. 5 weeks later, something appears on the horizon. A ship, barely recognizable at first, listing heavily to one side, drifting. No movement, no signal, just there. It was the Joyita, still floating, still intact. But when rescuers climbed aboard, they stepped into something that didn't make sense. The bridge was empty. No captain, no crew. The radio was set to the international distress frequency. Someone had tried to call for help, more than once, but the wiring was damaged, broken. Their calls never made it out. They had been talking to no one. On deck, things were missing. All 3 lifeboats, gone. Not damaged, not hanging loose, gone. The cargo hold told another story. 4 tons of cargo missing. Not scattered, not floating nearby. Gone, removed. And then, the detail that made investigators stop. Medical bags left out in the open. Supplies exposed, stained with blood. Not a lot, but enough. Enough to know something had happened. But not enough to explain anything. No bodies, no signs of a struggle, no clear cause. Just a ship that looked like it had been abandoned in a hurry. Investigators started piecing it together, looking for anything that made sense. They found a problem in the engine room. A pipe in the cooling system had failed. corroded over time. It snapped. Water began leaking into the hull, slowly, not violently, not catastrophic, but enough to change how the ship looked. Water rising, the ship beginning to tilt. The kind of situation that feels worse than it is. Because here's the truth. The Joyita couldn't sink. Even with that leak, even flooded, it would stay afloat. Which means the people on board were never in immediate danger. If they stayed with the ship, they would have survived. The ship would have drifted, eventually found, just like it was. But they didn't stay. They made a decision. They left. They stepped off a floating, unsinkable structure into open ocean, into lifeboats, into uncertainty, into something far worse. And that's the part no one can fully explain. So what makes 25 people abandon the safest place they have? The first answer is panic. Because panic doesn't care about facts. Imagine being on that ship. Night. Water rising. The deck slowly tilting beneath your feet. The sound of the engine struggling. The feeling that something is wrong. Really wrong. You don't think about buoyancy. You don't think about engineering. You think about survival. And survival, in that moment, tells you one thing. Get off. Even if staying is safer. Fear doesn't wait for logic. It overrides it. The second possibility is something breaking down between people. Leadership. Control. Order. Did someone panic first? Did they convince others the ship was going down? Did that fear spread? Because fear spreads faster than fire in a closed space. All it takes is one voice saying, "We have to leave," and suddenly everyone believes it. Even if it's wrong, even if it costs everything. And then there's the third possibility, the one no one could prove, but no one could ignore. Interference. Another ship. Another group. Something arriving after the distress began. Cargo missing. Blood on deck. No bodies recovered. It raises a darker question. Did something happen after they tried to call for help? Did someone else find them first? And if they did, what happened next? The Joyita was eventually towed back, repaired, put back into service. It sailed again. But it was never just a ship anymore, because people knew its story, knew what happened, or more accurately, what didn't happen. Because to this day, not a single body from the 25 people on board has ever been found. Not one. No remains. No confirmed wreckage from the lifeboats. Nothing. The ocean didn't take the ship. It took the people and left the ship behind, floating, silent, as proof that something went wrong, but not what. Out there, survival isn't always about what's happening around you. Sometimes, it's about the decision you make in one moment. Stay or leave. And sometimes, the wrong choice doesn't feel wrong when you make it. It feels necessary. It feels urgent. It feels like the only option, until it isn't. The Joyita is still one of the most unsettling mysteries at sea. Not because the ship was lost, but because it wasn't. It stayed. It waited. And it told a story without anyone left to explain it. What do you think happened? Did they panic and leave too soon? Did something else find them? Or did the ocean do what it does best, confuse, distort, and take advantage of one bad decision? Let me know what you think. Because out there, you don't always get a second chance to choose.